Well, what's good, YouTube? C1 Matt back in the building, back with another video. We're gonna sit here and watch from a channel called The Aperture. Shout out to them. Link to their channel in the description box below. Go in there, understand a lot of stuff that you can learn. The mindset, the mentality. Today we're gonna be looking at the psychology. I don't know why I pushed that. Maybe I'm sleepy. But the psychology of people who don't post social media. Um, Honestly, I know the reasons why I don't post social media. I just want to see if there's something new that I haven't considered. How many things is very similar to my thought process, and hopefully to the people out here to let y'all know y'all don't feel alone. Stuff like that. And then I'm gonna give y'all my insight on a lot of stuff. So hopefully, whether you upload pictures, not upload pictures, you will learn something from this today and be able to switch either way. I'm going to give you some tips that I think is beneficial when it comes to the social media platform at all costs. So let's get into it.
I'm sure you've experienced this moment before. You've just taken a picture after a fun night out. You're on the verge of sharing it online. And then it happens. You feel this twist in your stomach. It's like an aching in your heart. And there's a voice inside your head saying, why am I doing this? Some people in that moment decide, screw it. And they'll post it anyway. But others seize that moment of reflection and turn it into transformation. They put their phone away and then they reclaim the moment. So my question is, what is the difference between those two different types of people? This is the psychology of people who don't post their photos on social media. In a world where posting almost no longer feels like a choice anymore, to understand what makes these people different and what we can learn from them, we first need to understand how we got here in the first place. Posting photos on social media wasn't always an anxiety-inducing experience. In the early days, it was pretty exciting to post your pictures and connect with friends and family across the globe. And this was the early days on platforms like MySpace and Facebook. I'm really dating myself here. It was a time where social media had no real identity. We just kind of made it up as we went along. But then, over the years, as these platforms became even more popular, slowly things went from harmlessly sharing in a genuine effort to interact with your friends and family to a battle of popularity, trying to get the most likes and reach the most followers. Soon enough, it felt like everything was cringe and nobody wanted to present themselves authentically anymore. Just they wanted to post what would get the most results. That shift in behavior is something psychologists term as extrinsic motivation, compared to the intrinsic behavior of sharing pictures from a fun night with friends. Extrinsic motivation is less about what you like. Instead, it strips away your individuality for external rewards or to avoid punishment. In an effort to escape being cringe, we are forgetting what it means to be real. Compared to the early 2010s, posting nowadays feels less like an expression and more like performance. The average dinner date is, it's dystopian. You get your meal and you cannot wait to dig in. Maybe you've been waiting hours and then you get a gentle smack on your hand to get away from the cutlery, and your date pulls out their phone and spends a few minutes capturing aesthetic photos with the meal. Not so you guys can savor that moment and then relive it later, but it's all for the gram. So the followers know that you eat at expensive places. It's all performative, and recognizing that doesn't easily exclude you from the theater. Extrinsic motivation has everyone in a chokehold. Even if you don't have aspirations to be an influencer, there's still a minimum bar that people feel a pressure to keep up with. I know I do. It's an invisible line in the sand that we deem as a standard. You don't fully realize it until it just randomly hits you. This battle between extrinsic and intrinsic motivation is made even clearer in one specific kind of moment, and this is called the photographer's paradox. So follow me on this one. Have you ever found yourself at a function that you enjoy? Maybe it's a concert. Your favorite singer is hitting all the right notes, and your soul is it's in tune with the experience. And then you realize you haven't taken a picture yet, and suddenly you're burdened by a weight of emotional proportion. Suddenly your mind starts to zone into capturing what you're feeling inside of a photo. As both the observer and the performer, you expect this should be easy. Well, therein lies the paradox. The need to prove that I was here and I had fun, and then it just ruins the value of the experience. The conflict between creating for yourself and performing for an imaginary audience will only end when you abandon the need to post every experience on social media. The temptation to participate ultimately leads to no solid end, and that's by design. After all, we are living in an attention economy. Not many can fully grasp the decision to look past this new normal. However,
Before we go any further, I'm going to say this part. Social media influencers, you definitely want to capture a lot of awesome moments. You definitely want to upload them, get it going, just to say, hey, I do a lot of fun things. I do a lot of exciting things, inspire people that they too, with enough hard work, can go out and enjoy moments and have fun and have a great time. And they should have something to capture these moments. And, there used to be a time where you used to be able to do all of this stuff in a yearbook or picture, photo book and all that stuff. Now you can actually have a digital version of all of these memories. You can look back and say, I had a great time. Delicious foods, having great moments, this, that, and the other. So, yeah, you definitely want to sit there and try to capture as many moments as possible, and get a lot of people to be able to relate to the interests that you have, or be inspired to go out and enjoy life or go out and have fun. And that's important to a lot of people.
The Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard understood such withdrawal from convention. Back in the 19th century, Kierkegaard drew a spotlight on individual authenticity. He highlighted individuality as a guiding principle in the face of a crowd, arguing that the crowd is untruth, a place where people hide from themselves, acting only on what's popular. In his view, the pressure to meet up with standards or avoid being cringe ultimately drowns out our true selves. Kierkegaard's warning was never as haunting as it is today. Now we understand why. In our world today, the crowd isn't just the collective consciousness of social media users, it's the algorithm, a specially designed tool dedicated to keep us engaged with the platform's content. Insecurity is profit. When the crowd says your phone's camera is outdated, well, you go out and buy the newest iPhone. When it says you're not fit enough, you buy a conveniently advertised weight loss tea. With all the loudness from the outside, how would you ever find yourself? The whims of celebrities and algorithms dictate the standard. So there are those who ask, why should participation matter? This answer from French philosopher Albert Camus rings true for the outliers. With rebellion, awareness is born. A user who refuses to post is a textbook Camusian rebel. The performative logic of social media's machine is worth rejecting. In an absurd world, accepting strange rules is like smothering one's own independence and ignorance. Choosing silence in the attention economy can feel like a digital strike, a form of protest that rejects every aspect of the all-consuming machine. It's modern-day activism. The people that refuse to post stop contributing to the system that is killing authenticity. Rejection of the norm means avoiding the tools of subservience, even when the message is justifiable. It invokes Gil Scott-Heron's iconic words, "The revolution will not be televised." As you tread the path away from convention, there's another danger on the horizon. This time, you risk becoming a caricature of your protest. The entire point of leaving social media isn't to become a Grinch. It's to fully embrace life and individuality away from the crowd. Therefore, spending your life telling everyone that they're wrong for posting on social media leads to the opposite result. You just make people cringe and you kind of become inauthentic in the real world. Human beings may be complicated, but we are also quite simple in unexpected ways. It's like asking a friend not to have a chilled can of Coke on a hot summer afternoon because it's unhealthy. Sure, they get it, but there's no way they're going to let you talk them out of it. Social media is pretty similar, especially among younger generations. Here's my old man shouts at cloud moment. For Gen Z, it's synonymous with thriving. Psychologist David Elkin described adolescence as having an imaginary audience. Even with their phones switched off, younger generations seem primed to always act with an audience in mind. It's no surprise. Just look at the rise of the Gen Alpha term 6-7. The entire point of the meme is to do it in the presence of an audience, without which it has no meaning. It's a symbol to others that you are in the know, that you're a part of the tribe. It's completely performative and completely extrinsic. You also see it in the idols kids of today have. Back in the day, kids idolized athletes like Michael Jordan. Today, their idols are YouTubers and Twitch streamers. They're even beginning to speak in a TikTok accent. It's that cadence and delivery of younger demographics, and it's shifting towards something that was entirely birthed online. It's a performative change, as if every conversation is a potential clip, and everyone is a creator in waiting, hoping for the day that they go viral. It's crazy that the word chat might soon become a fourth-person pronoun. It's carved from the world of streaming. People have started using this word in real life to reflect the same feeling of breaking the fourth wall and speaking to an imaginary audience. Posting on social media is strangely restrictive to your identity. There's an odd sense of responsibility that comes with carving a niche for yourself. Even if you don't plan to become an influencer, friends and family still have baseline expectations for who you are. That's where an online presence really starts to crystallize. This crystallized self is a core part of social media. Every post, like, share, aesthetic, it all contributes to the data that your audience builds on you. Once your identity is crystallized, it's incredibly fragile. Any deviation cracks the facade. However, in the real world, identities are always more fluid and contextual. To one friend group, you're a lovable loudmouth with a snappy sense of humor. To another, you're a career-driven person, and you're always in a serious mood. That's even who you are with coworkers and family members. Meanwhile, the average popular person on social media is almost not allowed to have a bad fan interaction. Once that happens, it's seen as a betrayal of the crystallized identity. That's why A-list actors like Jennifer Lawrence and Scarlett Johansson have openly refused to join social media. It's not that they're above it, it's just a professional necessity. Their job is to be a blank slate for the audience, to convince you that they are a new character in every film. But for the actors that are active on social media, there's a strong connection to that crystallized self when you watch them in a movie. Ryan Reynolds plays Ryan Reynolds because you've seen so much Ryan Reynolds. Deadpool might as well be Ryan Reynolds. And it's the same thing with Dwayne Johnson and the new younger crop of actors. For those that avoid social media, they understand that the most powerful form of presence can sometimes be a strategic absence. Posting on social media doesn't only cause that inevitable crystallization. For many, it comes with a pigeonhole effect. If you'd like your presence to grow, it's nice to have a niche. One small problem, though, by sticking with a niche, you risk becoming boxed into the one thing that you got famous for in the first place. If you're a body positivity influencer, a moment of dissatisfaction can lose you followers. You're no longer a person. You're only a product with a brand identity. When someone avoids posting their photos and life on social media, it's more than just quitting addiction. It's a jailbreak that shatters the crystallized nature of themselves, returning to a more fluid personal identity. While it feels like the people who don't post on social media are a small group, that couldn't be farther from the truth, actually. For decades, internet culture has actually operated on a 1% rule, one that dictates only 1% of users create content, 9% interact, and 90% consume. But today, the passive 90% are strategically withdrawing further. Yes, even with their minimal participation, there's a growing effort to abandon posting. People who would upload a new picture once a year are clearing their entire feed. A 2023 survey found that 47% of Gen Z delete posts because they didn't get enough engagement, and 1 in 3 avoid posting at all out of fear of judgment. But that doesn't automatically mean they've closed the curtains on social media. No, this shift is from public broadcasting to a more private narrowcasting. We're seeing the rise of Finstas and close friend lists, the small curated circles where people feel they're safe from the biggest consequences of social media. Ephemeral content is even bigger than ever. Think of stuff like Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, and Snapchat stories. After 24 hours, it all disappears, reducing the pressure of a permanent record. What we're witnessing is the rise of the quiet participant, a new face to social media that refuses to participate in the game of algorithms. But that doesn't exempt them from its consequences. Even quiet users are vulnerable to social media's worst effects. In what I would describe as an ironic twist, the reality of social media users, you have to wonder why the truth isn't so popular. On the outside, it looks like everyone is participating actively, but this silent majority holds all the cards. It's only a matter of time before an exodus brews, hitting the pockets of the tech companies of the world. So in a culture that rewards visibility, withholding information is self-control. And in a generation raised on endless comparison, the decision to keep something private stands as one of the final ways to stay mentally independent. The world is quickly becoming one where memories are harvested, feeding into AI and algorithms, spewing a crude version of our desires back at us. Choosing not to post might be the only way for us to remain uncaptured, unmeasured, and unprofitable. So, if you've ever kept a moment for no one but you, that's a precious thing. Don't feel like you're fading into the background. Maybe the truest version of you is the one that can't be used.
And to sum this up, I'm going to say things that I want to teach everybody, whether you're a content creator or not. I feel like in this day and age, as a content creator, you do have to upload content for relevancy, for, to get paid on different platforms, to pick up an algorithm, to sit there and start chipping away at the goals that you have as a content creator, right? But at the same time, there's a bunch of people, there's a bunch of people that don't mind being out in the public, don't mind all of that attention, but there's people that wants to do things in private. So to me, the best thing that could be fit for everybody is when you go to a concert, I wouldn't say do this every time you do a concert. I would say every time you go to an event, consider a certain formula, right? Like, hey, I'm going to this event. I want to have a good time. Now, for some, they can still have a good time while recording as much as possible, right? Some of us, sometimes or some events, you want to record in the beginning of the event, and then you want to sit down and really enjoy the rest of it and like embrace in the moment, really get into it. It's almost like your feature presentation of watching a movie or something, So I would say to each their own, but just understand that you have options. Understand that what works for you works for you. If you're really trying to get more people to be relatable to you, or you trying to get that social credibility, then yes, understand that you have to divide a certain amount of this content to be content geared towards social credibility. And then there are just some moments that you need to choose for yourself that's not social credibility based. Even if you decide to still take photos or you still record, it's just for you. It's not like you're not pressured by the social credibility or status or anything when you do that content versus the other time. It's almost like clocking into work, right? At this time, I'm going to do clock in. I'm going to take this picture. I'm going to record these videos, and I'm going to do this for content or, hey, for social credibility. But when I clock out, whatever I take pictures or record, I do with what I want to do with it when I want to do with it, right? So I'll say do that. That's the best way to view it. That'll be the best way to kind of create something to separate a time where you're being performative versus a time where it feels like you could really truly get a chance to enjoy yourself. Now, to those that feel like they can't feel that difference too tough or it doesn't matter for them, I still want y'all to have that option. Just cause. All right. If it doesn't phase you, it don't phase you. Do it all the time, but I still want you to always have that option. There's something else that I want to consider to everybody. Social media is kind of like the extension of high school more than college. And I'll say it this way. Yes, you want to find, when growing up, I was excited about being able to network or meet a lot of people across the whole entire world. You know, this, that, and the other, right? Everybody has peak curiosity, things that questions they wanted to answer, this, that, and the other. And now it's more, I ain't gonna say it's more regulated, but it's more normal to have so many options of so many, to be able to reach out to so many people around the world. However, you have control of your privacy. I want you to know that. Always know that. Don't ever feel pressured to sacrifice your privacy when you can still have it. You can still sit there and fit certain groups or whatever that you want to fit, if it's worth fitting, and still have your privacy. You understand? I think social media or tech programs to definitely create certain things or certain features that will allow you to do certain things in the delay. And what I mean by that is, I think it's important to consider certain things that a lot of people don't think about all the time. And this is the part where I'm going to get to everybody with. Safety. If you're not in an ideal place where the crime rate is a bit higher than most of the country, if not the world, and you still doing stuff, maybe you shouldn't. Like, people can be aware that a concert is going on, and not everybody is going to like pay attention actively that concert is going on. You can sit there and record that you at that concert, but you don't necessarily have to be on live for it. You understand? Like, yeah, if you want to be live, cool. But you can sit there and record it, not be live, upload it later. The reason why is because sometimes that prevents stalkers, that prevents people from breaking into your place or robbing you while you're gone. It prevents so much stuff. And it gives you time to control the narrative and while still getting that social credibility that you were there. And I think that's just really, really important, especially when it comes to women. You got to protect yourself. So guys go through danger as well, but you just, there's times that you want. Now, There's times that you just want privacy. You want to do preventive maintenance to prevent certain things from possibly happening. At the same time, as you're recording, if something crazy happens live and you get a film of it right then and there, then yeah, that vouches for uploading it immediately because it will be very helpful and vital to a certain amount of information that needs to be obtained to understand what happened. You know? So understand that some of the best people in this life, you're not going to, you might want to be idolized. You might want this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, truth be told, the closest people that you will feel comfortable with or support you for real, is going to be probably 5 to 10 people, maybe 5 to 20, right? Maybe not even that, maybe 3 to 20, to be honest. I get that you want people to support you and your lifestyle and living. If you're a content creator, this, that, and the other, that's one thing. But if you're not a content creator, the simple things, the important things is just finding the right people that can relate to you for who you actually is. Embrace how different you are. Now, there are still certain things that are not acceptable, that are a crime, and are disgusting. Keep that in mind, but there is a lot of things that most people would not necessarily do or may consider out of the norm or weird or this, that, and the other, that you could still stand out and embrace that part of yourself and find like-minded people that's like you to have a community, So you don't necessarily feel alone in this world or alone with a certain thought or a certain way you do things, Other than that, be careful, take care of yourself, and hold up. The point of the psychology of the people who don't post on social media is popularity is not everything. Everything that glitters is not gold. The grass is not green on the other side. Now, being popular means it comes with a certain perks and all of that stuff, but most people just really would rather have the good benefits as the lifestyle or livelihood that they get a chance to have, people being excited to see them, being able to change people's lives for the better because you inspire them, things like that. But at the same time, there's a certain amount of fame that nobody really cared to have for the most part. Like, it helps you make more money, but there's just negatives that come along with it as well, right? Outside of that, be you. And like, the whole point of not posting on social media as much is you don't have to prove stuff to anybody. You are who you are. People can sit there and doubt you and hate on you and all of that stuff. Who are they to you? If you don't care for them, if you don't care about them, why even go out the way to prove anything? What's the point? If you have no interest or care in them or about them as a person, there's nothing to prove. There's nothing to gain from that. And you can just keep on moving. People gonna talk, people gonna joke, people gonna laugh. But before you even say anything, just sit back, do your thing, and really sit back and be like, who are these people to me? Like, even if I prove them wrong, what justice would that do for me? Yeah, I can shut them up, but they're just gonna find something else to hate on me about. Or they're just gonna go the extra mile to hate even more, or this, that, and the other. So let them do whatever they want to do. I must be going in the right direction or something. Like, certain moments in life to the people that the certain moments you just want to embrace. Certain moments you can't put into a picture or put into a video to express what it means to you. You want to. You want to find a light, you want to find a drone, you want to find a whole bunch of stuff to really paint this euphoric feeling of what this moment means to you. You want to be able to create it in some way, shape, or form. There's ways to do that. It'll take a while, but with the right amount of videos, some editing and stuff like that, you could portray that to people. But if you just want to embrace the moment, just live life, just to enjoy certain things that life don't get a chance to see only with your eyes, only with your memory, do that. You don't have to record everything. Other than that, don't put yourself on such a pedestal that you have to be performative about everything you do. Because that's just too much tension. You need to relax somewhere. You need to be able to have a moment where you get a chance to be yourself. Be who you truly are. Not who you want people to portray yourself to be or the image that you want to give, the good stuff, all of that stuff. Don't just create a space for you, designed strictly for you and for people that really enjoy you as a person to love. Till next time, till next video. Peace. Peace of mind.